BlapChat. I just did a short one today.
BlapChat. That was
BlapChat.
quick. Right to it today.
Right to it today, man.
Right to it today.
What's up, guys? What's up? This is BlapChat, episode 42, the big 4-2. This is the age where you just closed on your new home, your new mortgage, and you've just realized that you owe the bank $1.2 million.
Yes.
And you're going to pay that off for the next 80 years.
Yep.
It's good.
Yep.
Mortgages are great.
Or you're still living in your mom's basement, one or the other.
Yeah. You know.
Or on your friend's couch.
Just still figuring it out. You know what I mean?
Or on your friend's couch.
Yeah.
Still
Still wearing condoms. Still not trying to have a kid. I'm sorry, guys.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
There are people out there like that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Welcome to BlapChat, guys. This is episode 42 here with Perfection. What's up?
What's going on?
Atlas plug.
Yo.
Perfection just came back from Miami.
My jammy.
Yeah, you had a crazy trip out there. Breakfast Club shit.
Yeah.
Tell us about it. I purposely didn't talk to you before the show because I wanted to capture everything.
So we pretty much went out there for the Major League Baseball AllStar week.
Yeah.
It's my second year working on it. They hired me as the assistant talent coordinator. I work with Scott Lee out of Engine Room Audio, and he's the head on the project in regards to talent consulting. Last year we did Jamie Foxx. We got Jamie Foxx as a talent in San Diego for the Players Party. So it's the Players Party for the Major League Baseball Players Association. So the association is like the union that kind of deals with all the labor laws for them and all like the contracts and things like that behind the scenes. So the organization throws parties every year, and they've been trying to spice it up with getting talent. So last year we did Jamie Foxx. This year we did Lenny Kravitz in Miami. So the crowd was bigger this year. It was like 1,500 to 2,000 people. It was at the Manor Wynwood, and it was dope. We had the Breakfast Club host, so we had Angela Yee and DJ MB host, and we did a live broadcast at the Fountain Blue with them.
Nice.
So leading up to the event, we did like a live broadcast, and we brought in a couple fans to kind of be there, and we also we did kind of like a contest. So the MLB PA has their own app called Infield Chatter. So it's kind of like if you download it and you see it, it's really cool. It's interactive. It's good for people who are interested in baseball. It's everything baseball. So it's like a lot of the baseball players are on there. They post content of the games and just their personal life. It's kind of like Instagram for baseball.
That's dope. I'm not much of a baseball guy. Atlas, I know you're Mets.
Mets all day. You already know.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I used to really, really, really love baseball. Now it's too boring. I just can't watch it.
Yeah.
Unless it's the playoffs or it's like the
Sorry,
home run derby.
Apologies to the hardcore baseball fans out there, but I'm with that. I kind of feel the same way.
Boring
me too. When I was younger, my father used to just sit me on the couch with him and like pretty much force me to watch baseball. And it was cool. I'd much rather like playing sports than actually watching them sometimes. Like baseball's cool, but in person, I couldn't. If there's nothing interesting going on in the game, it could get a little boring.
Yeah. And then the heat, and you're like in the sun the whole time.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a little dated, but that event sounded pretty crazy. Really dope. I saw the IG. The live.
Yeah, it was good. It was good to be in another city and do the event in another city, especially Miami, and to bring on the Breakfast Club. We have a good relationship with them already. So to have them be a part of the event was great, and to just continue to build with Angela and work with her in another city was like very, it was a humbling experience, and that was one of my favorite parts of the trip, because I haven't been on a trip with Angela or worked with her in another city. So just to have her see me working just as much and just as hard and harder in another city and just keep being consistent, it's always good. And she was, you working hard, Avian's been working hard all week. I'm like, I gotta do what I gotta do. So it was a good bonding experience with her.
That's dope.
I
think it's important too to like have like kind of like a role model in a way, like someone who's like really moving out and like getting out there, and like she's I think Angela is at the point where she's like pretty much solidified her spot,
for sure.
And for a while now, And so, you know, just to be able to like be around that energy is dope.
And just like asking her questions about things and just seeing how she works and her experience. Like I always see how she works, but even like her prepping for the show and the event was great to see, you know what I mean? Because she really takes it serious. She does her research, like that matters to her.
Hell yeah.
And just, you know, her kind of giving me insight on things just really inspired me. And she even told me that she used to DJ, and I was just like,
it's crazy.
Really?
That's
crazy.
dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. Shout out to Angela Yee, man. Shout out to the entire Breakfast Club.
Word.
You know, they're the Breakfast Club. They've been killing it for like, man, it's been a while now. Like, you know, it's just like, I just remember when they first started it. It was like, man, it's like new thing. But shout out to Envy and Charlamagne.
And it's dope because they all have their own personalities, but it works well, you know, and they don't clash.
Yeah.
So it's good to see.
For sure. So shout out to them, man. I'm glad the trip went really well. Speaking of like giving back and kind of being around, you know, like-minded people, I guess. Last night we had an event. So we did our Patsy Ox Event. So basically we threw this event here in the city where we kind of like gathered or congregated 20 producers and a couple artists in there, right? There was like a couple artists in there too. And we met up at like a secret location, and it was a studio. And basically for 4 hours, they just got to hang out with me and like plug the aux in and play their music. And it was a dope experience because it was just very interesting to see, like, as upcoming producers, like everyone's got their own unique situation. So you had like kids in there that were like brand spanking new, like just making beats for like 7 months, in school full time, like day job, like living at home, but like really on the grind. And then you had other guys that were like, you know, adult, like fully adult, like, you know, kids and, you know, mortgages, but like doing it out of passion. And but the interesting thing is that like both of those different types of producers share the same kind of like passion. And so I just think that's like very interesting to know that the producer community is just this wide range of different types of people. So last night we did this event, and it was definitely inspiring, really great event. And we're actually going to start doing these events all around the U.S. and then eventually overseas. But we just announced 2 more dates. So for anyone listening right now, if you're in Los Angeles, we'll be out in L.A. on August 2nd. We're doing a Patsy Ox out there. And then on August 15th, we're doing Connecticut, which is like kind of a B market, I guess, on the East Coast. But I'm like discovering that there's just producers everywhere. So I want to start to come to different cities, and we're going to do the same thing. Secret location, recording studio, 4 hours. You get invited to come through and play your music and vibe out. And like guys were networking with each other too. So the whole concept behind Patsy Ox is to get you away from like sitting in front of your computer and like emailing beats and like being online to getting into a natural room and like interact with other human beings. And I think that's important for producers, you know? So we're coming to your city. Just go to my website, llmindproducer.com. You'll see tickets over there. You can reserve your slot. There's only 20 slots per city. So we're doing Los Angeles August 2nd and then Connecticut August 15th. And it's going to be lit. I can't wait.
What city are you most excited to go
Those
to?
2 for sure. Like Connecticut, I'm mega excited because I haven't really spent much time there. And I know there's a lot of talent. LA, of course, is like, I love LA.
It's always great.
Yeah, so like that'll just be another reason to like make it out like a trip out of it. But now I'm looking forward to like Atlanta. I'm looking forward to Toronto, Miami, of course, Texas for sure. Like I want to do Houston, Austin. I want to do the Carolinas, Nashville, definitely, definitely Nashville, and then like overseas, man. I'm going to Germany. Like I gotta go back to my home country, Philippines.
You gotta check out Menace out there.
Hell yeah! Shout out to Menace. Yo, Menace, if you're listening, go to UK.
Yes, sir.
You gotta show me the spots. So Patsy Ox is coming to a city near you guys. Go to my website, llmindproducer.com. And book your ticket, man. It was an inspiring session, and I can't wait to meet you guys. So it's good, Patsy Ox. In other news, there's a lot going on.
A lot.
Beat Thread is up and running.
Yes, it is.
I'm happy about that. Appreciate you guys for joining the website, beatthread.com. I've been hearing all the submissions. I spent like 2 hours the other day listening to shit and like giving critiques. It's a lot of fun, man.
It's a lot of fun, yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
It becomes like you just get into it before you know you're on there half hour. You know, it's just 45 minutes, an hour. It's cool, and you find some really some dope stuff on there too.
Yeah, there's some good tracks in there. And listen, guys, beatthread.com. If you haven't checked it out yet, go check it out. And I think it's a perfect time to do that because I'm hearing a rumor.
Oh boy,
a rumor that allegedly. SoundCloud has funding for the next 50 days.
That's crazy.
And after the next 50 days, which is fourth quarter, they will run out of funding, which means that they may or may not be closing their doors.
What does that even mean, though?
I don't know.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I mean, it could mean so many different. I mean, first of all, SoundCloud laid off like half of their staff, and they closed their Berlin office. So I think they laid off like 140 people to try to, save money to kind of keep the business afloat. But I mean, I think that what it means is that currently with the funding they have right now, they can't afford to go past 50 days. So
but I'm interested in knowing, where do they even get the funds from? Like, what companies are like endorsing them, or I've never looked into it to know like where these issues stem from. So it's interesting to.
Yeah, it is. What do you think?
Did they get VC funding?
I don't know.
I'm curious.
I don't know. I'm sure they're at like a.
I think everyone should just go to BeatThread and just use BeatThread. Go for it.
Yes.
But no, but seriously, I really don't think, in my opinion, there's going to be a big corporation out there with shit ton of money that's going to say, oh, they're in trouble, let's go scoop them up, let's acquire ownership of the company or whatever. And think about the amount of music and like subscribers, and like everyone's on fucking SoundCloud. So I think they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
But I also think you should go to beatthread.com right now.
I won't be surprised if like Jay-Z just comes and picks it up.
Somebody's going to come by and just like Tidal will come by at something. Who knows?
Because I think SoundCloud is important, especially for up and coming artists, producers. It's a platform where you can just share your music and be found, on a larger scale. So it's like, for it to just be gone because of the lack of funding just sounds absurd. Like, I get it, like, it takes money to make money, or you need money to kind of have certain things continue to be alive, but such a huge platform like that, you can't just let it go.
Right. I think it'll be okay. I think this is
someone's gonna come in.
I think this is just someone, I forget what the company was, who that wrote the article about this, or the author that wrote it. And they just, people got a little wind of it, and then it was just clickbait. You know what I mean?
But
like,
I saw Chance the Rapper tweeted like, "I'm working on the SoundCloud issue, guys."
Yeah. So
man, that's a big tweet. That's very bold. I mean, I don't think he would say that if he didn't have something up his sleeve.
I mean, didn't he donate like $1 million?
Supposedly,
to, I forgot what it was, charity or like a school. So I wouldn't be surprised if he, especially him as an artist that's not signed to a label. Like, he knows the importance of being independent and, getting found in those type of platforms. So I'm sure he would want to continue that type of culture, so to speak.
Yeah. SoundCloud shutting down will be very, very detrimental to the music industry, to me, in my opinion.
For sure.
I mean, it's huge impact.
Yeah, because it's like all of these streaming platforms, you can't really upload your own music.
No.
Like, if you're not distributing it for sales. You know
can't
what I
just
mean?
put a song up
you can't
anymore.
just put a song up on Tidal, like, to stream it. Like, I guess you can, but you know what I mean? You have to go through a distribution like company in order to have your music up on all of these platforms. So it's like, you can't just say, let me upload my music to my Pandora account or like my Spotify account. Like,
I will say though, and I'm gonna shout them out, I'll give them a little cosign here, Audio Mac is like pretty much just like SoundCloud. They have different activations on there too, but Audio Mac is great, and BeatThread, man. Go to BeatThread.
Go to BeatThread.
You gotta sign up for BeatThread before it's too late. You know, you need a place to upload your music.
Right.
You need it.
You gotta know what people think, man.
Yeah. So let us know what you guys think in the comment section. Will SoundCloud be dunzo, or is someone going to come in and save it? I hope they save it.
I think they're going to be okay.
I think they're going to be okay. I hope so. We have a question from Anthony_Y936. I like this question. It's like general. He says, what are the beginning steps of becoming a producer? That's like so general, but I want like you guys' opinion on that. Like, what's your take on that? So Atlas, let me ask you, if Mundo Beats, Mundo,
I haven't heard that in a while. Beats.
Yeah, Avian had it.
She had the effect. Appreciate that.
If Mundo was like seriously trying to like start producer, and I'm talking about like no contacts, like very little like experience in like knowing what to do first, like just blank slate completely, what would you do?
I would go to YouTube.
Wow.
I'd go to Google, do my Googles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go to YouTube.
What would you do on YouTube?
I'd look up just first.
Music producer.
Yeah, well, first off, you would need some type of DAW to produce. So you would have to get that situated, right? Your laptop situation, you know, your DAW, whatever you're using. Then you actually have to create good tracks, you know. So
first you have to get something.
You have to get gear. I mean, where are you gonna, you know, unless you're interning somewhere, but that's cool too. But then you want to do stuff when you're home, right? I would assume, right, Avian, when you get interns that come in, a lot of them are either producers and they have their own little setups at home, right? And then do they come in, or are they able to on their time off to come in and use the actual studio itself?
Yeah. Well, as far as like engine rooms concerned, a lot of studios don't even allow their interns to touch the gear.
Oh,
so, like,
wow.
So like the studio, I don't know how you say it. Like, I guess the studio environment is different at every studio. So like a lot of the studios uptown, like let's say like Jungle City, so to speak, they won't just let anybody go in their rooms and use the gear.
Yeah.
So us, we're very, we're family. So it's like we want you to grow and learn. So we allow them to use the rooms and use the gear only when they pass a certification test. So you gotta kind of like learn the room, learn the gear, and then take a test of like setting up gear, setting up an actual session so that we can see that you know how to utilize the gear. And then once you pass the certification, you're free to use the rooms. Because it's like if you just randomly let anyone press buttons, you know, without them really knowing what they're doing, you can fuck shit up. So it's like with us, you got to pass a certification test, and then once you pass that test, you're free to use the rooms as you like. Obviously, we have like certain, you know, like certain hours of the day that make more sense. Like if the day's busy and we're actually getting paid sessions, we're not just gonna be like, sure, use the rooms. It's like you have to make sure it's on a quiet day. If it's late night, if it's on the weekend, you know, you can use the room to study, to practice, and do what you have to do.
Right. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, if I owned a studio and I had a board worth $500,000, I wouldn't want just any intern that I may or may not know like might fuck my machine up to like just freely just like mess with it, because it's complicated gear. I mean, you can't just like wing it. You know?
And it's like everyone, you know, I've come across a lot of interns that are very confident, which is great, and you want to be confident, but sometimes they want to kind of show that they can do it without really knowing how to do it. So it's like, you know, you tell someone, hey, can you do this? Yeah, I'll do it. I might not really be sure, but I'll try it. And it's like, hold on.
Yeah.
Like, you know
chill.
what I mean? Like I need to know you know how to use this console. You know what I mean? Not that you're going to try, that you're not going to burn it.
Yeah, no, this isn't like pointing and clicking a mouse. This is like highly advanced technology that you need to know how to use. And to your point, Avian, and you, Atlas, like I think like if you're starting from scratch and you know nothing, you never made a beat in your life, but you want to just like get it going, I would start with YouTube. I would start with like research, like type in how to make beats. Just do that and like do some research on how it works. The more I think like humans are like visual learners, so like if you watch the stuff, I think you'll be able to learn better. And then like get your hands on a DAW. I would try to get Fruity Loops because it's the to me, like I've used every DAW. Fruity Loops is the easiest.
Yeah, I got Fruity Loops on mobile when I started.
That's what I'm
just
saying.
To like, because I didn't know where to download anything, or I didn't want to necessarily buy something so quick. I wanted to kind of like see what different DAWs were out. So I was like, you know what? There's an app for everything.
Yep.
There's an app for everything. So I was
Literally.
like, let me just quickly check the app store and see what they have. And they actually had a Fruity Loops like mobile app, which was terrible.
Yeah.
Like it was terrible.
Wait, so how different is the mobile app from the regular shit?
I mean,
It's like
come
it's
on.
like there's no comparison. Okay.
Yeah, it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Because there's some mobile apps that are really good.
Machine
Yeah.
has a
Like the Machine mobile app
Machine one
supposedly
pretty-
is really
pretty
tight.
dope.
I'm gonna check it out, but this was like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Listen, if there's any of you guys that use your mobile, your phone or your iPad to make beats, drop a comment. Let us know
I'm gonna
what
check
you
it out right
use.
now.
Let us know what you use. Let us know if you like it or not, and if you recommend it and what you recommend. Because I do think that making beats on your mobile phone kind of might be in the future.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean,
like,
I downloaded
this
it.
thing is bulky, guys.
Yeah.
This is not going to last long here.
I downloaded it just to like really get my hands on it and see what it looked like and see what features it came with. But I knew that obviously I would have to take it to the next level and come up with something. It's like $14 on iPhone.
Josh,
and it looks
zoom in onto that. Let's see.
It looks a little more
that out.
advanced
Look at
than
that.
it did when I first downloaded it.
FL Mobile. Plug FL Mobile.
It's pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely something. You're on the train.
like it.
You got your headphones on. You got time to kill.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna check
Just,
it out.
you know.
It looks a little more advanced than the version
Yeah, it
I
looks pretty
downloaded
official.
originally.
I'm downloading that shit. I'm gonna fuck around. Seriously, like, yeah.
But that's how I started, and then I just started doing my research, and then I downloaded a demo version of Ableton, played with that for a bit, and then I actually got FL Studio, and then just started like really tapping into videos, like you said, YouTube. Just Google. Everything's on Google.
Yeah.
If you just search music producer and you start to like, study the producers that are out there.
Yep.
You kind of get an idea of what they're doing, their sound, and then just Googling how to do a beat, how to start a beat, how to start a hip hop beat, a pop beat, and everything's on the internet.
Exactly.
Everything.
Google the shit. So this is what it is. Google, go to YouTube, search videos, how to make beats, what's Fruity Loops, how do I make beats, software, blah, 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 blah. And then download the shit, okay? Try the mobile, too. Do it on the phone, do it on the computer, whatever you need to do. You definitely need a computer, though.
Yeah.
So go get a computer, get a job, whatever, save up some money, get yourself a computer. I believe Fruity Loops is only for a PC, right? Still. So grab a PC and go do it. And you're going to need some drum kits. So go to blapkits.com,
Right.
cop some drum kits. Seriously, I'm not even trying to like plug. Like literally go to blapkits.com, cop the bundle, or start with BlapKit Volume 8. The most recent one, work your way down, and those will be the drums that you need. Like you don't need any other drums. So get the drums and then try shit. Like I think a good way of starting is like to mimic. Right? Like, think to yourself like what motivated you to start making beats, and then try to mimic those beats like exactly. Because I think mimicking beats in the beginning allows for you to like start to understand like how to achieve like a sound that you want based on what you're inspired by. So like do some mimicking, they're gonna sound like shit, they're gonna really suck, but that's okay because you just started.
And it's always good to like go back to your first beats and be like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow, I used to think this was dope.
And but sometimes you hear an idea and you're like, I could like revamp this right now and really make some fire out of this.
Exactly. So you never know. So that's what I would do. And then also when you get to the point, I would make beats. Yep, exactly. Make beats, right? When you get to your 100th beat, that's a pretty round number. When you get to your 100th beat, those first 100 beats are the punching bag. That's just training. That's like, getting into a groove and like understanding the nature of like how to make beats. And then from your beat number 101 onwards, I think you should start categorizing your stuff, right? Open up some folders and categorize your shit by BPM, categorize your beats by like mood and feel and tempo, and like, if you're doing like different genres, then you can do different genres for every folder, and just start stockpiling. And then from there, go to SoundCloud if they're still around, or Google, whatever, YouTube, and look for some artists, look for some people that you can throw beats to. Don't sell them yet. Find some people to rap on your shit or sing on your shit. You need to start getting into the habit of like knowing what your stuff sounds like with vocals on it.
Yeah.
So find vocalists. I think that's a big mistake that producers make, is they sell beats, and then it's like when they're ready to make a song, they have no idea how.
Yep.
And they've built no relationships. They've just did transactions. They haven't like built, like quality time with these people. It's just been like, okay, here's my money, cool, see you later.
Yeah, and like you're neglecting like a whole portion of like, learning how to be a producer. So I think you can do both though. If you want to, like, you make 10 beats, sell 5, and then the other 5, try to start developing an artist and see if you can get some vocals on your stuff and stockpile the catalog. I remember when I first started, like, obviously when I started, we didn't have like SoundCloud yet, so I just had folders of stuff. But like I would re-listen to my shit and be like, yo, like that's dope. I'm better at doing this. I like working with this type of artist as opposed to this type. So let me make more of that. Like it's this whole process of like discovering yourself kind of in a way. And like, yo, that's like a crucial step for you, because if you don't do that and you're making beats for like the next 10 years, you just like neglected like the most important thing, the most important skill set, which is how to like really produce music with someone.
Yep. And then even running the session, like you don't even know how to run the session. Running a session and knowing how to speak to the artist is a whole craft in itself. Like we were talking about it in the last episode, like don't ask the artist questions. You know what I mean? Like when they're in the booth, they're ready to go. They're ready to just knock it out, So not only are you honing in on your, your production and all, but now you're like really getting into the craft of running an actual session, like being super confident and going in there and just killing it, So, because if you're a sucky engineer, it kills the whole session, number one.
Yep.
And if you have just like nervous energy, then everyone else around you is going to feel that too. Yep. So if you go in there fucking confident and shit, you're ready to go. All right, boom, boom, we're going to do this, doom, and you just start going, they're going to call you back. They're definitely going to call you back.
Exactly. Exactly, man. You hit it right on the nose.
We're done.
There's another question we had. I love this question. You said, this is pretty basic, but how important is it to learn chords and learn how to play the keyboard, like chords and like instruments and stuff? How important is that for a producer? I want you guys to start that.
I think for me it's pretty important, because for a long time I just was stuck on finding good melodies, because I was just stuck with just pressing, keys on the keyboard without really knowing what I was doing or how it should sound or what notes worked well together. So I was like, I really need to take on an instrument, to really understand the keys and chord progressions and things like that. And I took on the piano, and it really helped me. It really helped me get my melodies together. It helped me get, play with different sounds, like interesting sounds. And I think it's really important. Like you don't need to be an expert on an instrument, I think, but you need to learn a little bit of something, learn the keys a little bit, learn the scales and things like that to help you kind of,
just move around.
Yeah.
How did you, like, what was your process in like learning the keys? Like, did you do like a program or?
Yeah, well, I actually I found like an instructor, like a piano instructor, because like I believe in like the YouTube stuff, like learning on YouTube, like with like piano and stuff like that. But I felt like if I have someone teaching me, like I'll just learn quicker, like a real person. And I'll be more on top of it, I guess. So just a couple years ago, I just started working with a guy, an instructor, and like that went well. And I took a break because I started working at the studio, and just it was a lot going on. I didn't have time to go see him because he was just far. But then I picked it up again a couple of months ago with someone that actually works out of the studio, and it just really helped my music.
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily have to pick up the piano. It could be a guitar, like anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You just got to pick up an instrument and start. I will say, though, that for modern day music production, learn how to play the keys.
Yeah.
Especially
play the
most
piano.
of these guys have the controller sitting right in front of them.
You got a
It's
controller.
like, why not? You know, and also too, you're gonna hear music differently. You're gonna like, you know, what you make is gonna get better. It's gonna sound better. You know,
More
and
ideas.
like, and you know, I know how to play the keys, but I learned by ear. I never had lessons, right? So the way I learned was like, my mom. It started when I was like, you know, I think like 6 or 7. I remember my mom got me a little Muppet Babies keyboard, and it was small. It was like this big, right?
Wow.
And each year she got me a bigger one and a bigger one and bigger one. And then she got me a keytar, and I was jamming out on the keytar and all that shit, right? So, but the way I learned was on the, you know, those like original like Casio, you know, like beginner keyboards. They would have like a demo song, remember? And you just hit demo and it would play this whole song. Whatever it is. Yeah. And then I would just learn the demo song. Like listen to it and then just figure out what the notes were and remember them and just keep practicing. But then as I got a little older, I took some lessons, but actually guitar lessons was actually what I took. And like, it was the best thing. Because, you know, also coming from a songwriting background, then I started to realize, okay, great, I just need like 2 to 4 chords.
That's it.
And that's my whole song.
That's it. Speaking of chords, that's a great point. There's people out there that are taking the approach of like, with the keys, like learning how to play like a popular song. So like if you learn how to play, I mean, pick any pop song that's out right now, right? We'll do Rolling in the Deep, right? Like Adele. Like learn how to play that on the piano. Go to YouTube and find like a tutorial video. It's probably there, and learn those chords, right? And then once you learn those chords and get your fingers and your brain comfortable with like maneuvering around that pause.
Mix up the chords.
I was strategic. Maneuver around the keyboard that way, then it's like muscle memory. So once you know those chords, then you can shuffle those chords around and make your own arrangement.
Yep.
And what's crazy is the Rolling in the Deep chords. There's like 50 other hits that have used the same exact chord progression. So you can technically even keep the chord progression, just make all new vocal melodies. But I would, you know, switch it around. Obviously.
Here's another chord progression that if you learn this progression, you'll be able to produce like pretty much any top 40 pop song.
Is it like CG?
No, it's Black Eyed Peas. I had the time. No, not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Was it? Is like similar to that. How's it go?
Where's the Love?
Not Where's the Love. The other. It's like a wedding song that Black Eyed Peas made. It's fucking crazy. It's a huge smash. It goes. What is it?
I know what you're saying because they have.
There's a Black Eyed Peas song that if you learn it, I'll find it, guys. If I remember, I'll shout it out. But even that other one that I was singing, that's like a classic song.
You can go on YouTube and like type in same chord progression and like hit songs.
I Got a Feeling.
Thank you, brother.
That's the one, I got a feeling.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good night. Learn those chords. Go to YouTube, search I Got a Feeling Black Eyed Peas piano cover tutorial. I guarantee you'll find like a million videos. Learn that shit. Yo, trust me, you can make pop music just from those chords, right?
That's very true.
And then also too, like, you know, there's tutorials out there, whatever, but like all you need to really do is learn how to maneuver minor and major basic chords with your fingers and just pick one key. I would go with C.
Yeah,
just start with C.
It's because it has no
it's in the
sharps
middle.
or flats.
No sharp sides. It's in the middle. Learn your fingers on the key of C, and then all you gotta do is transpose. Just transpose your shit later on MIDI. You know, so maneuver around C, and then when you get more advanced, then you can go, you know, C minor, all that stuff. You can start learning D, all that. G. A lot of pop songs on the radio right now are actually in the key of G, which is very, like, pretty much 80% of the top 40 pop songs right now are in the key of G. So when I produce pop music, I always do it in G.
You know what's good? Like a lot of engineers use this mixed in key.
Yeah, what is that again? How's that?
So mixing key is really good because you can it analyzes any song that you put in. So like if you put you can put a MP3 file in it and it'll analyze the BPM, what key it's in. So a lot of times I'll hear a song and I'm like, I want to know what's the tempo and what key it's in. So you put it in mixed in key and it analyzes it and it gives you all the information. So if you ever hear just any song that you want to learn how to play, and it's like, okay, what key? I mean, you could easily Google it, but mixed in key is a great thing to have as an engineer and as a producer, because a lot of times I use it. I'll just import a track and I'm like, okay, B minor, cool.
Yeah.
So it's if you import a song and you're like, okay, B minor, and then it's like, I want to learn B minor. Let me look up that scale, and you can take it from there. So mixed in key is really good for a lot of the engineers I know use that, and I use it too for production.
That's tight. Yeah, that's great. So many tools now. Again,
and instead of, if you don't want to really get super deep and learn how to read music and you can learn tabs. There's something called tabs, and you start learning how to read tabs.
Tell them what tabs are.
I forget the exact. Look it up, Google it. But something's like with the dot. Anyway, Google it and check it out. But I remember when I was learning the guitar, it was huge for me just learning. I was like, oh, okay, this is way easier than reading actual music, which I learned that too, again, a long time ago, so I forgot most of it, but I always just trust my ear, goddammit. You know what I mean? And you just know when you hear it, and just what feels good. So.
Trust it, but covers are great. Covers are great. It's like learning a language.
Mm-hmm.
You just kind of observe and then you mimic. It goes back to the mimicking thing, mimic, and then once you learn it, then you start to create your own version. And then it's like, oh shit, that's like a real song that I'm writing. Mm-hmm. So it's good. Another question: quantizing versus non-quantizing.
I don't know. Me personally,
I have a very heavy opinion on this.
Me personally, I think you should quantize, in my opinion. And the reason why is you don't have to do 100% quantize. It doesn't have to be, but I think because when you want to hit the just beat in the pocket and the tempo, you want to make sure when the shits are hitting, everything is hitting when it's supposed to hit.
True.
But I do like some swing in there too. You know what I'm saying? It's just, again, this goes back to really trusting your ear. But because I think some producers can get away with it, but a lot of them can't. You know what I mean? So if you just quantize it just keeps everything a little more solid, a little bit more cleaner. But again, that doesn't have to be 100% quantized. You could do 80 or 70, whatever you want. But
what do you think, Avian?
For me, it depends. It depends on the track.
Yep.
I think a lot of times I tend to find myself nudging my drums a tad bit off the grid so it can have a little bit of swing, and it can be just nudging it like
a half of
like
a combination,
you know what I mean?
Very small.
Because sometimes I'll hear a track and sometimes it's the melody where I have a good melody and then the drums are just they're not falling where they need to fall, and everything could be quantized, and I'm like, but it's just not giving me that groove. So I'll kind of nudge everything. I tend to nudge my hi-hats a little bit sometimes. I have a little trick that I do with my hi-hats where I nudge them, and
y'all don't get
I'm not gonna tell you everything else I do, but
register for Perfection's course, next course, how to nudge your hi-hats.
Right. But I tend I think for me it all depends on the track. It depends on what melody I have. Sometimes the drums, even certain melodies sound good quantized, but you don't want it to sound too computerized sometimes, too robotic, So I think it just all depends on the track. I tend to find myself nudging my drums a lot.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you on that, manually nudging some things. But then also too, just depends on what you said at what you're trying to make. If I'm gonna make a funk track with B3 organs and guitars and bass, probably not gonna 100% quantize.
Right,
that.
definitely
probably
want some
not.
swing. Yeah.
You want the human feel. If I'm doing a super ignorant trap joint, I'll probably not quantize my melody. The melody will have some sauce on it, but those drums are gonna be tight as fuck. for the most part. So it depends on feel. You're right.
But if it's like
there's no right or wrong.
But if it's like a pop 4 on the floor, like
those 4 on the floors gotta be on the
gotta be. They gotta be.
Don't nudge them motherfuckers.
That's what I'm saying. Right.
You can't go Dilla and go fucking 130 BPM house. Also, too, if you're doing like the whole, you gotta lock those in. Don't do.
Right,
can't do that.
Do you think it also depends on tempo?
True.
Like, do you think certain tempos require?
I think it's just feel.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think the tempo really matters. But like, I mean, if you're doing like 180 BPM, like you probably want to tighten those up, because if your shit is all over the place, man, good luck. People are not gonna move, man. So quantizing is an interesting thing. Man, let's get our guest in today. Yep. So we have a really special guest today. We have Cool from Cool Dre.
Yes.
Legendary. These guys are legendary, man.
Been in the game.
And they're been in the game. Oh my God. I remember hearing Hate It or Love It and just all their classics, and I'm like, yo, Cool and fucking Dre.
In the videos.
They were running it from like 2000 to like 2010, but even now they're killing it. Like they just did the Smash, the Drake record with Khaled. The what's it called? You guys know that. You guys know the record. So they were involved in that record, and still working with Khaled and a bunch of other stuff. So these guys are so amazing, man. And I've known Cool for a while. I met him a few times back, like at some seminars, and such a good dude. Dre is amazing too. But I'm looking forward to talking to Cool. I think we can definitely pick his brain and just get some insight on like the OG, man. Like these guys have been winning for so long. I can't even imagine, like, still relevant. And I can't even imagine like how many plaques these guys have, man. Like, they're probably stuffed in a closet because they don't have room.
So many.
Yeah, because there's so many. I mean, these guys have so many smashes. So shout out to Cool Dre. We're gonna talk to Cool, and we'll give him a call, and then we'll see what he has to say. So let's get Cool up. All right, so we got my man Cool from the legendary, Cool Dre production team. Let's give a round of applause for Cool for joining us.
Hey.
What's poppin', y'all?
What's poppin', man? First of all, man, just honored to have you on here, man. I definitely look up to you guys. You guys have been killing it for such a long time. Like, ever since I heard New York, like, just all that shit you've been killing, like, I was like studying you guys, and just like, you guys are like definitely legendary in my book. So appreciate having you on here, man. And yeah, we got Atlas to plug in here.
Yes, sir, man. What up? My man Cool.
What's good,
man.
y'all? What's good? We here, man. Beautiful Thursday out here in Miami. Where y'all at? What city y'all at?
So we're actually in Brooklyn, New York. Our co-host here, Perfection, was actually just out there in Miami.
Yeah, I just got back. I was there from Saturday to yesterday.
Nice. You was out here just on some chill vibes or working?
Working. I was actually working on in the MLB AllStar week. We had like an event for the players with the Players Association. So we had like Lenny Kravitz perform and the Breakfast Club host. So it was pretty good. It was pretty good to be out there for that.
Nice.
Yeah, so cool, man. I mean, there's so much we could talk about. I wish we had more time, but I want to really start with just like kind of picking your brain on like how you started all this madness. Like, what inspired you to start making music, and like at what point in time in your early career did you like squat up with like Dre and just like become a collective?
Well, I've always had a passion for music, you know what I'm saying? Early on, before even the thought of being a producer even crossed my mind, you know what I'm saying? But I always had a passion for music from, being fan of just listening to early Two Live Crew. R.I.P. man, R.I.P. Christopher Wan, man, he passed away I think yesterday, man. R.I.P. You know what I'm saying? From Two, he's the founder of Two Live Crew, and so from always had a love for music, you know what I'm saying? And then my first introduction to continuing my passion for music was my DJing. I started DJing and making mixtapes in school and selling the mixtapes, You know what I'm saying? I was started doing parties. You know, like we would steal the teacher's calendar for the year, and it would let us know like every day that we had off of school. So if we had off on the Thursday, we book a hall we had a little relationship with on the Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? Wow. And we would throw parties, and I was DJing. I was getting my name out on the DJ side out there, DJing at pepper rallies, and moved into the club circuit. And me and Dre started doing underground radio. You know what I'm saying? We was doing a 919 FM out here in the Mix 96. And, you know, underground radio is always shaky because the FCC's always trying to shut them down. But we were actually responsible for breaking a bunch of records out here, from fucking Goody Mob, Cell Therapy to, you know what I'm saying, countless other records that we were the first to play them. You know what I'm saying? Because we'd get like the test pressings. And so that was the introduction, you know what I'm saying? Wow. And through all that, you know what I'm saying, we started out on an R&B side, you know what I'm saying, on an R&B group. And me and Dre, we met in high school, and we were in chorus class together, and we formed a form called Basic Unity, you know what I'm saying? Nice. And our passion, we wanted to be we wanted to be like a Jodeci or a Boys to Men, you know what I'm saying? That was our dream, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we ended up moving in like 90, I forgot what year, 96, I forgot the exact year, but we ended up moving to, it was around 96. We ended up, before we moved, we ended up buying a keyboard because we couldn't find no one to make music for the group. You know what I'm saying? So everybody was like trying to charge. It was like, yo, we ain't got nobody for no beats. You know what I'm saying? So me and Dre, we put some money together. We borrowed some money. I was like, yo, let's try to make our own music because we got a bunch of melody ideas. You know what I'm saying? And they just, so I remember going to this music store and they showed us this ASR 10 and Sonic. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. And and then the guy was like, man, where'd you be using this? And I'm like, well, and then he pressed play on it, and it was like a whole song with a fucking beat with vocals and background vocals, and I'm like, damn, that's a form. He sold us on it, which was amazing because it's an amazing instrument. You know what I'm saying? Because it kind of did everything you needed in one keyboard. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Yep. So you know, the ASR 10 was our first tool of choice. We ended up moving to Atlanta to pursue our R&B singing group career. Wow. And we ended up we took all our bunch of Crater records, turntables, you know, a little reel-to-reel recorder, and we just jumped in the car and banged it to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So what year was that? What year was that when you went to Atlanta? This was late 96. Wow. I think around late 96, we ended up going to Atlanta. Because we bought our keyboard January of 96, you know what I'm saying? And we went, and then so we ended up moving out to Atlanta. We were in Atlanta for like 9 months, you know what I'm saying? Audition for, like, you know, at the time, and still we looked up these guys that we wanted to shadow on the production side, which was Organized Noise, you know what I'm saying? And Rico Wade and all that, you know what I'm saying? So we were huge fans of the whole Outkast Dungeon Family movement. And you know, we had some meetings set up out there in Atlanta. We auditioned for a couple people, and then we ended up auditioning for Rico Wade, and he's like, yo, I want to sign y'all, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, he had us sing at his Christmas party, like, nice. When people was walking in, we was out there singing, you know what I'm saying? Like, so wait, so Rico from Organized Noise wanted to sign you guys as like an R&B group or as producers? Yeah, we were gonna as producers, bro. The production was so starting point, you know what I'm saying? Like it was so terrible. Like we literally sang for them straight a cappella, you know what I'm saying? And he wanted to sign us as a group, and he had just done a situation with his label. It was called Red Clay. You know what I'm saying? Red Clay Records or something like that. And long story short, that shit ended up not happening with a situation, blah, blah, blah. Right. It ended up not panning out, and we ended up banging it back to Miami. You know what I'm saying? Got it. So we get back to Miami, and we really started going hard with the production shit. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I remember, I'll never forget me, you know, we couldn't really afford to buy no, you know what I'm saying? No good food to eat. Taco Bell, even though Taco Bell we still eat that shit because it's amazing. But the most affordable food we could find was Taco Bell, so we eat that shit every day.
Oh, man. Those chalupas.
Like clockwork. So I remember me and Dre got together, and we're like, I was like, yo, I wonder if, and I was like, you know, we're religious, you know what I'm saying? Like, we heavy into our religion, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we God-fearing brothers, and I remember me and Dre was sitting at Taco Bell, and I was like, yo, I wonder if God put the group together just so we could meet and become producers, you know what I'm saying? Wow. And he was like, nah, man, you tripping, man. We're gonna be the next Boys the Man.
That's crazy.
But it ended up panning out. Wow. You know what I'm saying? It ended up panning out that, damn, like, we met in high school. He had his own group in high school. I ended up joining the chorus class that had us working, you know, doing a lot of music for the school music. But it wasn't like a regular chorus class. It was like they called it it was an ensemble class. Like, we would go and compete, you know what I'm saying, nationally with other schools. This wasn't like a regular fucking chorus class. It was like vocal. They call it vocal ensemble. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And so you know, through that, you know, it kind of ended up panning out that way, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know the journey you're gonna take. You might like we tell cats all the time. You might start like you're the producer, and you might end up being a dope manager. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think the crazy thing about that story is that, like, both of you didn't know that you would become producers, but you were kind of acting out in genuine, like, passion and love. I think, right? It's like you really got to know each other at an early age in the industry, but then, like, you just kind of worked together because you enjoyed each other's company, I guess, and, like, it just kind of fell into place almost.
And
right?
the good thing, I think the good thing is that you guys also trusted the journey. You know, like, you didn't turn down any opportunities. Like, even when you guys were, you know, realizing that maybe you were destined to be producers, you didn't, like, push that opportunity from your mind away to say, no, let's stick to what we were originally gonna do, because, you know, like, it might not have worked out at all if you would have, you know, continued to go the other way.
Yeah.
You know? So it's interesting to, like, you know, trust the process.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating because we talk, you know, this podcast is all about music production. So we talk about, you know, just kind of like what Avian just said, like, trusting the process and, like, really just surrounding yourself with people that inspire you and that make you feel, you know, like you feel like you're in the same wavelength as that person. And, like, you know, if you let ego get in the way, maybe Cool and Dre never would have been a thing, you know, or vice versa. So I think it's fascinating.
At what point, Cool, this is Atlas. At what point did you guys when did it hit you and Dre, like, holy cow, we are producers, like, this, we're like, when did that transition just, like, completely go away from being an artist?
After the Atlanta thing, we ended up going back home, and we really we dove in heavy into the production, you know what I'm saying? Because we literally, you know, back in those days, you know, Ill knows, because Ill's been doing it for a while. It wasn't the days of, you know, you can go online and buy dope sound kits, you know what I'm saying? Or dope, you know what I mean? Like, you had to literally go to a record store, find some dope ass records with some hard ass drums, you know what I'm saying? Or buy an album that you like. Oh, that Dr. Dre album, that Crying, we're gonna rape that album. You know what I'm saying? Or a Diddy album, that fucking No Way Out. Boom, we taking every kick and snare that's available. Man. You know what I'm saying? That's wide open. So you know, for us, it was when we got back, we literally dove in to the production full-fledged. Wow. And we didn't do anything else. You know what I'm saying? Thankfully, we had supportive parents to where, you know, Dre was able to drop out of fucking college and pursue the music shit. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even go to college. I was DJing. So I was DJing parties at Dre was going to the university. You know what I'm saying? So thankfully we had support. I think the parent support base was really big for us because it gave us a place to be creative. And my parents, you know, either of them ain't speak no English. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so we literally, my mom let us rock out in the garage
Wow.
24/7. You know what I'm saying? So literally we had a place to get in there, fuck off what we wanted to, make music, write, chill, talk shit, invite people over. You know what I'm saying? It gave us a creative space to grow. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
big.
I think that was one of the key elements, bro. The fact that we had you know, they gave us the creative freedom to make music. At the time, I don't think they knew what was there. My mom was probably like, yo, fucking guys in there making all this noise and music. You know what I'm saying?
Trust
Making all
me,
this
cool.
noise,
I went through the same thing, mom's basement, and like when I used to sell like beats, $50 here to like indie rappers, right? But they would come over to the crib and come to the basement. So imagine like 2-3 guys come through, you know, baggy pants, whatever it was, and then they would leave after a couple hours, and then I would have like $40 in my pocket. My parents thought that I was like selling drugs and shit, like $50
No,
here.
absolutely. So you know, that bass is what created us. You know what I'm saying? It's what made us. You know what I'm saying? Because that bass we called the studio Record Room Studios. You know what I'm saying? In that studio we had walls full of all the walls was all records. You know what I'm saying? So we had fucking samples. We had samples for days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we had from my DJ days. So we literally would be there 24/7 working on music, and people would come over. My mom, my dad, if he's cooking, hey, come on, everybody come in and eat. You know what I'm saying? So everybody would eat. You know what I mean? And it got to a point where, you know, we literally had fucking. I'm not lying to you. We literally had 40 cars parked outside my mom's.
That's
Crazy.
crib.
It was like a
It
party.
was crazy. We had
It was like a party.
Yeah, it was crazy. No, it was people coming in there recording, like literally. So back to when we came from Atlanta, we started literally giving people music. Like, yo.
Yeah. So what was that process? What was the process? So when you and Dre started making beats, what were you doing? Were you selling them? Were you working with artists?
Said, yo, we were giving 90% of the beats away. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Just
here
what
you
I
go.
said
Boom.
earlier.
Here you go. We give motherfuckers CDs with 30 beats on them. You know what I'm saying? So fucking we started making a name out here locally. So we started a couple of the, you know, the indie dudes that was making some moves. Boom, they started shooting us a little 400, 500 a beat. You know what I'm saying? I remember me and Dre, our biggest check we had seen was fucking $2,500 cash. We made 10 beats for this dude. He was doing an album. You know what I'm saying? It's a European bass album. You know what I'm saying?
Batch rate
We
right
was
there,
like,
10 for 2,500.
Yeah, boom. Yeah, 2,500, and then later on we found out he got paid 25,000. But hey, guess what? You know that's right. You know what I'm saying?
It's the game. It's the game.
But you know, we started giving the music out, and then we started actually making some money. You know what I'm saying? We started selling. Then it was like $1,000 for a beat. We're like, yo, hold on, this shit is actually. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, boom, 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 and then fucking we ended up so we was working with it. Oh, so we had our boy, what's my man's name? Fucking Robbie Rob. There you go, Robbie Rob. Crucial element, you know, crucial ingredient to the Cool Dre, you know what I'm saying, story. Robbie Rob hit us up. He was fucking around with Pitbull at the time, you know what I'm saying? And Pitbull was, you know, he was promoting Pitbull on the radio, trying to pop his shit off. Pitbull had just left Luke Records. He was signed to Luke before anybody. A lot of people don't know that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wow.
And Pitbull was walking around. He had baggy dickies on, like straight Project Chico, like, you know what I'm saying?
The braids.
Like
Hood.
Fucking like Pitbull was dicky down, gold teeth, like serious. You know what I'm saying? So
Crazy.
fucking so Robbie Rob was like, yo, Fat Joe hit me up looking for beats. He's looking for some different vibes, and y'all got anything for him? We're like, hell yeah. So boom, we put together a beat with like a CD with like 30 fucking beats on that shit. So you know, Joe told us a story. He said he was in the studio, it was in a session with R. Kelly, and he started going through the beats, and then beat number 20 something comes on, and it's fucking. He was like, he couldn't believe it was the same CD. He was like, yo, these fucking, because, you know, our man Robert, I was like, he's looking for some southern flavor. You know what I'm saying? But me and Dre, we doing all this hip hop shit. You know what I'm saying? We're like, yo, all right, fuck it. We put a couple vibes, but then we said, you know what? I said, yo, Dre, man, put a couple sample vibes in there, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because Fat Joe, you know what I mean? So boom, first beat comes on. I mean, the beat number 20-something comes on, and literally Joe was like, yo, I need to come to Miami. I got to meet the guys that did this beat. I can't believe they're from Miami. You know what I'm saying? I got to meet them because it's my fucking favorite beat of all time.
Crazy, man.
Wow.
So yeah. So it ended up being he ended up driving to Miami and booking a Hit Factory and called us over to the studio, and then we met him for the first time. And he was like, yo, this is my favorite joint. I want to record it with y'all, blah, blah. So he cut the record with us in the studio, and we kept in contact with him. You know what I'm saying? Like we stayed real close. Every time he would come in town, we got, you know, we'd kick it, blah, blah, blah. And then he ended up using the record on the album, which ended up being the opening track of it was called King of New York with Buju Banton.
So that was Fat Joe's favorite beat. That's what got him going.
Yeah, that beat right there. He heard that beat. He couldn't believe it, bro. He was like, yo, this beat right here, I can't believe the kids who did this beat. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
So Joe was very instrumental, man, because at that time, right when Joe grabbed that record, we had got 2 other placements with JT Money on this Blood, Sweat and Years album, which we did 2 records on, and Joe really put us on because he flew us to New York. You know what I'm saying? He actually he flew us out to New York and put us in the studio like right away, working on his shit. And you know, being in the studio with Joe, you just meet everybody. Everybody's coming to talk to the Don. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's coming to have a conversation with Joe. So they're like, yo, who these guys? Oh, that's Cool Dre. So he started really, you know what I'm saying? And then we started making the A&R run in New York to the point where we had got so hot, like without a hit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was like, yo, these dudes are the next Neptunes. And me like, yo, man, what the hell they comparing us to the Neptunes?
Yeah.
Dude, you know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
We're like, yo, I hope that Pharrell and Chad don't fucking feel away. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, they keep comparing us, I guess, because we're a duo as well. You know what I'm saying? So that we literally hit every A&R, and every A&R was like, Cool Dre, all right, cool, y'all are kids from Miami, oh shit, all right, boom, 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 and we started getting on all these albums, you know what I'm saying? We started getting placements left and right. A couple A&Rs was like, all right, cool, yeah, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, a couple cats, they was picking the beats, you know what I'm saying? And we were making our rounds. We were making our rounds on the production end, and you know, that was the early stages, and then boom, we hit fucking New York comes out, you know what I'm saying? And then a couple months later, fucking Hate or Love It comes out, and then boom, it just exploded. You know what I'm saying?
That was the explosion right there. Like New York was the record.
Yeah, that combination. It was because it was New York, and then we had. It
was another Fat Joe record.
The record we did. We had a record we did with Street Runner. She wanna like that. What's the name of that fucking record?
With Street Runner, you said?
Breakfast in the morning. Let me take it's called Take You Home. Let me take you home.
Okay.
So that record was out. It was a record we did with Street. You know what I'm saying? And then we did Hate or Love It came out. And then the combination, you know what I'm saying, of the fucking record was fucking like a whirlwind. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Cool.
But it was mainly the New York. It was mainly New York because everybody had counted out Ja. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a rap.
That was his comeback. That was his comeback. And then to throw Joe and Kiss on there was like, that was a New York moment. And that fucking pissed off 50. Oh, yeah. And then for y'all to come back and do Hate It or Love It, it's like, Cool Dre, legendary.
It was legendary. Because the New York record, let me tell you the story about the New York record. So we're in my mom's garage, and you know, Dre's fucking with the synths. And boom, I had a drum kit up. And we started fucking vibing with the drums, and I remember we got the beat going, the burn, and then we had the beat already grooving. So I'm laying down on the couch, and I'm like, I'm started singing the KRS-One shit just popped in my head. I got 100 clips from New York. And Joe was like, hold on, that sounds like it could be a vibe. You know what I'm saying? But before, so we had that hook idea, you know what I'm saying? While we were coming up with that vibe in the studio, we had already sent the beat to Joe. You know what I'm saying? Joe had the beat already from like a week ago, you know what I'm saying, a week before. And Joe was like, yeah, I'm fucking with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm still vibing to it, blah, 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 right? So Joe was like, all right, man, you know what? I can't really come up with nothing, you know what I'm saying? So Ja Rule had the beat as well, you know what I'm saying? Before, you know, after Joe kind of passed on it, we gave it to Ja. I mean, not Ja, sorry, Jadakiss. And Jadakiss was like, yo, I'm fucking with this beat, blah, blah, blah. Love this joint. yo. So when we came up with the hook, a couple weeks later, came up with the hook. Jada was kind of slow rolling on the beat too. You know what I'm saying? So we're like, yo, fuck it. This is too hard. Herb hit us up. It was like, yo, I'm in the studio. Come through. So we was like, yo, let's do this. We came up with the hook, and then Dre went over to the Hit Factory, played the beat, and then sang the hook. And Herb was like, yo, this shit is crazy. No lie, this nigga, Herb was like, yo, we gotta put. I know exactly who to put on this joint. We gotta put Fat Joe and Jada Kiss on this.
Yep.
Wow, what are the chances?
That's crazy.
And they already had the record.
He goes, yo, we gotta put. Oh my God, they already knew the beat. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy,
but when they heard the beat with the hook, they was like, y'all didn't give us this hook. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, like, damn, why y'all ain't give us this shit with this hook? So it just worked out. It's crazy how it worked out. You know what I'm saying? Because they had it before Ja. So when Ja got it, he got it with the hook. And without them even knowing that Joe or Jada ever had the beat, they was like, yo, we got to get Joe and Jada on this record. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
And
It's like that record was meant to happen. It was meant to happen.
For sure.
Yeah.
Cool. I wanted to ask you about like the earlier stages of the process of production. You mentioned that when Dre was working on the synth, because you guys originally started like as an R&B group, and then you figured that, you know, the production would have worked for you. So how was it kind of learning production? What was that process like, and learning the gear, being that nowadays it's so easy to just Google something like, you know, how to work this piece of gear or how to make this type of beat?
It was a process. It was definitely a process, like, you know, because we didn't really have, you know, the guys that we knew that made music, you know, we knew one dude, he made gospel music, you know what I'm saying? It was like, all right, like, we you know, he was amazing keyboard player, so all his shit was like real R&B, like mellow vibes, you know what I'm saying? And we literally had to, it was organized noise, you know what I'm saying? Like, that Outkast first album, Southern Playlist of Cadillac Music, and then fucking Quemini and ATLians, those were, crazy. We listened to those because those albums, you know, they used live music, but they were still so hip-hop, you know what I'm saying? And they were still gritty and dirty to production, so those were our blueprints. We kind of listened to them, and in early Timbaland and Aaliyah, when that first album came out, it was like blown away. You know what I'm saying?
Those drums, I know you guys. I jacked all those drums. Thank you, Tim.
Oh my God!
You know, that whole shit was open.
Like, yeah, no, it was amazing. So my thing is, it was definitely what we drew from what organized Rico and the guys were doing was maintaining hip hop with the live music, you know what I'm saying? And then once we started implementing live musicians into our beats, it was like, all right, let's simplify this shit, you know what I'm saying? So they showed us that less is more, you know what I'm saying, on the production, because this shit was musical, but it didn't go all over the place, you know what I'm saying? Because when you're dealing with live instruments, shit could turn into a jazz quartet real quick. You know what I'm saying? It could water down real fast. So they figured out a way to keep it hip hop and keep it dirty. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we learned. We literally listened to them and listened to, of course, we're big fans of soul music and 80s, and we're just fans of great music, period. So we had a vast background in all kind of genres, you know what I'm saying? So I think our hardest transition was getting our shit sounding right, you know what I'm saying? In the beginning stages, the beats were sounding fucking terrible, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, shit's just terrible. But we had to figure out the sonics, because once we got into a position where we mixed our first record, which was for a friend of ours, it was like, I remember our man Lou Diaz, which is, fucking killing in mixes today. You know what I'm saying? He was like, yo, he got the mix on the fucking SSL board. Because I was like, yo, it's got to be the SSL.
Yeah.
Jay was like, man, yeah, we got to mix this shit in a big studio. So boom, we finally in a fucking big studio. And our man Lou we dumped the whole shit down with the fucking ASR with 8 instruments at a time, blah, blah, blah. And fucking Lou mixes it, and the shit still sounds super thin. I'm like, yo, Lou, what the fuck? This shit sounds super paper thin. He was like, yo, you put shit in, you get shit out.
Yeah. Garbage in, garbage out. That's the thing.
Yeah, he goes, boy, he was like, cool, you put shit in, you get shit out. I'm like, Lou, what the fuck can we do? He's like, oh, if you like a fucking sound, Sample that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you like the way that Diddy mix sounds, sample his fucking kick and snare and hi-hat. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But when we did that, shit was sounding better, but it was still not right. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yo, this shit still don't sound right. And it was just, you know, trial and error. What changed our sound sonically was when we started fucking with the MPC. You know what I'm saying? Because we got our homeboy let us hold an MPC 60. You know what I'm saying? And I remember sampling 808 into that shit at the studio.
Crazy.
And it was a different sound. It was, I was like, yo, Dre. I called Dre and I was like, yo, figured it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's crazy because with
like,
production, you always feel like you're like constantly trying to like figure it out, like fix something. There's always like something wrong. It's so crazy, man. Cool. I want to fast forward. My bad. Go ahead. You want to say something?
No,
right?
no. Actually, no. What I find fascinating, just listening to the story so far, is, you know, when you were an artist and you were focusing on the artist side, you know, trying to be the next Boyz II Men, and then you guys transitioned to an amazing production team. What I think is great is the fact that you guys were coming from the artist background actually helped you guys, because now you guys can write your own hooks.
Yeah.
Big time. It helped us tremendously because, like, it not only can we write our own hooks and write our own songs, but it also helped us when we're dealing with singers, because we know how to arrange harmonies, and we know we can sing the song for them and let them go in and sing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know when they're flat, we know when they're sharp, you know what I'm saying? So, and this is pre-auto tune, so it's like that shit just polished us and got us to where, you know what I'm saying, where it made it easy to work with motherfuckers that are singers, because you're like, all right, sing it like this. You sing it for me, and they're like, oh shit, y'all sing? Hell yeah, we sing. You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
So definitely.
I love it. Yeah, I want to fast forward, and then we got to wrap up soon. I want to fast forward to the Max record, man. I mean, you know, when you kind of fast forward the discography over the last decade, I mean, there's so much in between here, but just to see that you guys were, you know, again, still heavily involved with Khaled. I know that, you know, having that relationship has been very valuable. I think that's amazing, but To the Max is like so insane to me. I mean, tell us about that record, man. Like, that beat is crazy.
You talking about the Drake record?
Yeah.
Bro, we didn't do that record.
Oh, you didn't? Oh shit. Okay.
Nah, for some reason everybody thinks we did the record. I don't know why they think somebody must have put. I don't know if. I think Dre might have wrote something on there. You know what I'm saying? On
Okay.
But I don't know. I know production-wise, we didn't do the production.
Okay, so you guys didn't do the production on that.
Up on that.
Okay, cool. Wow, that's so crazy. See, sometimes you got to get it straight from the source.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people get confused, man.
It's all over.
Okay,
Yeah,
but that beat is,
we ain't do it.
Regardless, that beat is kind of wild. Are you going to say something?
No, that Don't Mind record, that Kent Jones record was super tough. That was.
There's so many records here, but cool. I wanna ask you, like, so, you know, it sounds like, you know, your start with Dre was very kind of organic, and you guys didn't realize that you would become producers, and now you are. After this kind of like long journey that you guys have been on, you know, we talk to a lot of upcoming producers here. Most of our listener base here is upcoming producers. What are some suggestions you can make in 2017? Like, what can producers do nowadays to really get it popping for themselves? I feel like some of it is a lot of like what you guys had done, which is like build relationships with people. But is there any advice you can give to the up and comer, like, now moving forward?
I mean, yeah, and the advice I give the young guys, man, doing their thing is, you know, always keep your ears open, man, and don't be afraid to try different avenues, man. Now we have Instagram, and we have SoundCloud, and we have YouTube, and we have platforms like this. You know what I'm saying? And we have different platforms that cats can listen and get educated on, and be a sponge. You know what I'm saying? Taking everything, taking the constructive criticism, and don't take it and be like, nah, fuck it, I ain't gonna listen to it. Absorb it. You know what I'm saying? Absorb the information, apply it, and then always work on your craft. You know what I'm saying? No matter how dope you think your beats are, they're probably not. You know what I'm saying? Like, So if
someone
somebody
out there
tells you
that's
they're
better.
not, listen to them. Yeah, listen to them, bro. Listen to them. You know what I'm saying? Because if your homeboys are telling you them shit is dope, you gotta listen to cats that know that they've been doing the music for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And if they tell you, bro, this shit is not, you got to do something about your drums, do something about your sounds. Now it's easier to get drums and get, you know, sound beds and get synthesizers and shit like that. So invest in yourself. You know what I'm saying? Invest in your library of music. Invest in your samples. Invest in your fucking and your equipment. Everybody, you know, FL Studio, best shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like Dre's using that shit. I'm still on Logic 10, but
nice Logic.
It's an amazing platform that's very affordable, bro. You know what I'm saying? That shit costs. You could buy a T-shirt with the price of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and that shit is changing kids' lives every day. You know what I'm saying? So, always be a student, be a sponge, absorb everything, apply everything, and don't stop.
Yeah,
you
never stop learning. What has you still on Logic? What do you like about Logic? I'm a Logic user, so I get excited when I hear people use Logic.
Yeah, I started with 9, and then I started with 8 and 9, and then it took me a little while to get on 10, but 10 to me sounds better than all of them. You know what I'm saying? Sonically. You know what I mean? I know they're like up to 11 and shit, but they keep switching around the user. You know, it's changed. All the fucking things are in different places. So I had my boy create a template to where it looks just like Logic 9. You know what I'm saying? So it works and feels just like 9.
Yeah.
So he created a template for me. So that really helped me get on to 10 because 10 sounds really good.
But what has
you? Know, I guess because of 64-bit.
What has you on Logic compared to any other DAW?
I ain't gonna lie to you. I just
sequencer.
I like it. You know what I'm saying? It's the functionality of the sample. I mean, of the samplers and the soft synths, and you know. Realistically, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna start fucking with the FL because I see it as sonically. It's all about the sonics.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Ill knows.
Yep.
It's all about the sonics. When you're in the studio and motherfuckers is playing beats, and our beats come on, and shit is knocking motherfuckers over. They busting eardrums. But then you know these new kids is coming around with the FL Studio with the fucking sample packs, and these shits is sounding like a fucking amazing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, hold on. You got to move with the fucking technology. What's popping, the new shit. You know what I'm saying? Sonically, FL Studio got it on the Sonics. You know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of other shit that we do on the outboard gear side. You know what I'm saying? To enhance when that's on the mix process and all that. But sonically, that platform, I started fucking with it already. You know what I'm saying? Because it just sounds like the MPC 3000. There's a difference from the MPC 2000. Sonically, there's a difference from the MPC 2000 XL. Then there's a 4000 came out, but there's no MPC that sounds like the MPC 3000. You know what I'm saying? The original shit. That's why Dr. Dre still has that shit hooked up every studio he's at. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
why Dilla rocked out on that too. The 3000.
Bro, it's the best sounding MPC that you put an 808 through there and you're gonna bust some speakers. You know what I'm saying? So the closest thing sonically to that, because I've done every test. I'm a nerd. You know what I'm saying? I done we got an amazing studio with some big ass speakers, and I'm like, yo, we got to test this shit out, and we ran every test.
Crazy.
And that fucking FL Studios, I don't know what they're doing.
Something about it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna start messing with FL.
They figured it out.
Can I get a tutorial, Perfection?
I'm still trying to. I need to get FL on my Mac, man. I need to figure out what's going on.
I'm not trying to get a PC. Cool, man. We appreciate you, man.
Actually, cool. I just had two quick questions before you go, since we talked about Taco Bell earlier.
Yeah.
Are you a chicken, steak, or beef?
You know what? Beef, man.
Beef, yeah.
Beef.
Too.
That's
the way to go.
I like my Nacho Bel Grande. I like my Nacho Bel Grandes, my Mexican pizza, my soft taco supreme.
I'm not gonna lie, the beef at Taco Bell is lit.
Yo, beef chalupa, because it's crack. And then,
yo, I ain't gonna lie to you. We've eaten at some expensive ass taco spots, especially fucking around in LA.
Yeah.
And bro, I'm like, yo, man, this shit is overrated, but just give me some Taco Bell, man.
Exactly.
And then the last question before we let you go: what's your favorite Boyz II Men song?
Ooh, man, Water Runs Dry.
Hey,
that's one. That's
Let me tell you,
a good one.
Yo, llmind, peep this. I did on my DJ, peep this shit. on my DJ, when I was on my heavy DJ shit, I was doing DJ battles and shit. I did a DJ battle one day, right? And this is the only reason I'm bringing this up because R.I.P. You know what I'm saying? Prodigy.
Yep.
I fucking was in a DJ battle and I mixed fucking Shook One Part 2 acapella with Boys the Men, Water Runs Dry instrumental.
Oh,
that's crazy. That's
Whoa.
crazy.
So
That sounds crazy.
When I tell you the whole fucking place stood up,
oh
bro,
my
you know
God.
what? I got to do that. I'm going to find acapella, Water Runs Dry instrumental. I'm going to put that shit on the SoundCloud.
Please.
Yes.
Bro, when I tell you it was the most amazing shit because every change on Water Runs Dry, it changed every 4 to 8 bars. It was a change in the music.
Wow.
Yo,
in the
cool. You gotta do that. You have to do that.
When Havoc and Prodigy was rapping, bro, that shit sounded like it was made for it. You know what I'm saying?
Cool. You gotta do
Crazy.
that. Do that before SoundCloud shuts
Was
down.
that an
Yeah,
accident?
I'm
like,
gonna
how'd you
do
find
it.
that?
That's just
How'd you
crazy.
find that mixture?
No,
Was
no,
it
no,
like
no.
an
See,
accident and you were like,
bro,
oh, this sounds
See,
dope?
the thing is, we you know, we're all super creative. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, we are. So I remember I would do obscure shit. Like I would take like a Bougie Bantan and I mix him with a fucking Luke I Wanna Rock instrumental. You know what I'm saying? And this shit would be fucking out of control. The two sonic mixtures was crazy. So I remember we was listening. We had Water Runs Dry going, and I had my turntable set up in the studio, and I fucking seen the Mobb Deep. I was like, oh, this shit got acapella, and put it on. That was in the same exact key, everything. I was like, oh shit. So it was just the mixing, doing the unexpected. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's gonna mix. They're gonna mix the club shit with the other club shit. But when you mixing like the club shit with like the R&B shit, the slow shit, it's just a different type of sound.
It's a different. That's a whole different vibe right there. I gotta hear that. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go bump that song now.
I know, right? I'm gonna
He
go
gonna
down
have
some
me.
Boyz II Men.
He gonna have me fucking searching songs to mix with each
Yeah.
other now
Yo.
for my sets.
Oh,
That's how you
shit.
gotta do it.
Hey,
That's
cool.
crazy.
One last question for me.
Yeah.
How many hours a day do you sleep?
Whew, man. You know what? I try to sleep as many hours as I can, man. So that's the one thing I've been unable to do is get on a schedule where I'm actually leaving the studio at a decent time. You know what I'm saying? But try to get about 7 hours if I can. You know what I'm saying?
That's
If
more
I
than a
can.
lot of other
The most-
people.
It's good.
Oh my God!
Smart
I'm trying
guy.
to get, see, the thing is, I got some stomach issues, man. I don't know if y'all know, but I got Crohn's. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all know anything about Crohn's, it's something that it's a disease that attacks your small intestine. So if I don't get the rest, then I'm in the hospital. You know what I'm saying? It's literally for me, it's a mandatory thing that I gotta kind of make sure that I'm getting, even though I don't get it enough.
Yeah.
I gotta fucking, if I go like 4 or 5 days, I start really feeling weak. So I'm like, you know what? Let me fucking slow down.
Yeah.
But this is the game we chose, man. We love it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's part of it. Health is wealth. But man, cool. It's been an honor, man, to have you on here, man. So many jewels. I know the
man.
guys are
Love.
listening and gonna appreciate it. But shout out to Dre.
Yes.
We gotta
Yes.
get
Yes,
Dre.
sir.
We gotta get Dre out here at some point too.
Yes.
But cool, man. We
Absolutely.
appreciate you so much, man. Thank you for the jewels and like
Anytime.
I'm looking forward to just like continuing to see you guys run it. I know you guys have so much stuff in the works, and hopefully if I make my way down to Miami, man, I gotta come check you guys out.
Oh yeah.
Nah, absolutely, man. Let's work. You already know what it is. We fam. Let's get it.
Yeah, man. So let's give a round of applause to Cool
Yeah.
Dre. All right, my brother. We will talk
Appreciate you,
soon.
Cool, man.
I'll hit you up in a bit.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
go.
Later.
Peace. All right. Yeah.
That was
Cool and
dope.
Dre.
Man.
Cool. From
He's
Cool and
mad
Dre.
cool. He's mad
That was
cool.
cool.
No
He's
pun
so cool.
intended.
He's so cool. So cool.
Super laid back, just like real, just like the whole R&B singer thing was like
Yeah.
really kind of reminded me of like a little bit of me, coming up like
That's
being
what I
an
was thinking,
R&B
yeah.
and being an artist and then transitioning from artist to everything else that I'm doing. But
Yeah.
man, that's
good.
and it goes to show you too how like you don't know where your end is going to be in this music
Right.
game.
No.
You think you know. And sometimes when you're younger, you want to get put on so bad. But if you really did get put on when you were younger, one, you won't appreciate it. Two, you're not ready, even though you thought. Because even when you get older, you look back like, damn, I thank God I didn't get put on. I was not ready.
Not ready.
I thought I was ready, but I wasn't. And not knowing what your end goal is going to be and still like he went out to Atlanta to sing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And then they didn't even know much about production, and they decided like, why don't we just
let's
be
just
a
try
singer.
it.
Yeah.
And they
And
were
the
like
guy he's singing with is now his production teammate,
Yeah.
killing.
They were borrowing keyboards and like
First of all, the car they had must have been huge because they had the ASR 10.
that thing
They
is a
had,
fucking beast.
they were carrying back, and there was no MP. They were carrying records,
Yeah.
and he was DJing, so he had a shit ton of records all over the place.
Yeah.
Man, I love that get up and
Legendary.
go story, man.
Yeah,
We hear
I think
we
a
hear
lot
it all the
of
time.
like what he was saying on his come up is still very true today. Like in terms of just like following your like passion and like just trusting in the process.
Yeah.
I think that's the key.
And that's one of the hardest things like nowadays, I think, for a lot of people is just trusting the process, because you see
Yep.
how it naturally flowed for them, and they were open to the idea of, hey, this might not work.
Yep.
Let's try this, versus other people try so hard to make it work when you might not be destined to do that.
Yep.
And some people, I get it, because it's like how and when do you realize that? Like if something's a passion for you but it's not destined for you to do it, how do you realize that? You know what I mean?
I would, to answer you, what I feel is if you really have a passion for music, like I know you do, like of course I know everybody.
I don't
in
have
this
a
room,
passion.
You dibble and dabble, right? But like we all have a very intense passion. I think if you, at a young age, because you have a passion for music, whether it's singing, whether it's dancing, whether it's playing guitar, whether it's playing piano, with gospel, whatever you're doing, if you really are doing it for the love of music, then as you get older and you start evolving, then it just kind of falls into place. Does that sound weird, right? But if it just like, because if like one thing doesn't work, you love music so much and you never did it for the money. So that was the beginning thing. So you'll just kind of fall into place to hit the right people around you, be in the right situations. Like one opportunity closes, another one opens. You know what I mean? And like this is a perfect story, Cool. Just being a singer,
Yep.
wanting to be the next, R&B group, Jodeci, Boyz II Men. Organized Noise Story was amazing. Like being
Amazing.
around the Rico and all, like that's crazy.
Amazing.
Not working out,
Mm-hmm.
and then singing things not working. All right, fuck this. Let's start making tracks.
Just
That's
go hard
just-
on the beats. And they went hard, man. They were spending a lot of time
And
doing that.
also, I like what he said, and this is something we always talk about: getting out there, shaking hands and kissing babies. You got to get out there. These guys weren't just blinking with artists, which is always a plus, and we always say you should do that. 101, it's like find an artist, groom them with something you really believe in. But also, DJing is another thing you talked about. But, and this is key, guys, like if you're listening, you should really start doing this. Knowing who the A&R guys are.
Yep.
Those are your inside guys that are at all the labels, the meetings you're not going to be in.
Yeah.
They know who's looking, when they're looking, what type of tracks they're looking for, when they're not looking anymore. You know what I mean? Like those are the people you have to
Yep.
get the in, however you
Top
get the
of mind, yeah.
And I think the cool thing too was the fact that they had 1 million people at their mom's house.
It
Like
was lit.
sometimes that doesn't work. Sometimes you don't want 1,000 people in the studio, but I think it was cool for them in their process of learning and growing, because they had so many different types of people around them, maybe people with different ears, different vibes, different personalities, where they were able to kind of play with their production different ways. You know what I mean?
That was like his college.
Yeah.
He's saying how Dre went to college rap. That was like his college. And the cool thing too is, like, kudos to the parents. Like, hey, my kids aren't out in the street. They're in the back, in the garage.
I know where they are.
I know where they are.
They're right there.
I know who comes and hang out. I let them know who I don't want them hanging out with if I think something's weird. And I'm sure maybe the parents did it, maybe they didn't. But my mom used to be like that. Like my house, when I was coming up, and we said this in very early episodes, but when I was coming up, my house was the hangout spot. Everyone came to my house. Everyone partied at my house. Everybody ate in my house. They went in my fridge. And my mom was cool with it. And I like years later, I asked her, I said, Ma, you're always like, our house was always the cool. She was like, because I always knew where you were.
Right.
And I knew you weren't out in these streets. Hey, and if you know, and I'm not saying this works for everyone, but, you know, if you are going to dibble and dabble and like smoke a bowl or do a little, like, I would rather you do it like here.
Yeah.
Instead of out in the corner on the covers are coming now you're in Central Booking doing the weekend special. You
My
know what I'm
mom
saying?
was kind of like that when I was younger. She used to be like,
and
I'd rather have people come to the house where I know you guys
for
are
the
good.
record, the pot thing when I was like 18, 19, 20, you know what I'm saying? I was older. It wasn't like I was like 14, you know, and my mom was letting me do it. It wasn't like that. Yeah. But she did allow my house to be the place where, you know, when the Mets were playing or like football games on Sundays.
Wait, you weren't smoking pot when you were 10? I was smoking pot when I was 10.
I didn't start smoking pot till I was 14.
I started at like 18.
So. Yeah. But my mom and all that wasn't until I was a little bit older. You know what I'm saying? But what a great story.
That's great. Man. Yeah. Shout to Cool, man. Cool and Dre. Obviously, we don't have time for BlapChat. Sorry, guys.
Next week.
Well, we just heard a bunch of beats last night, so I'm tapped out. But apologies for that. Sorry, guys. But you know, we do BlapChat every episode. So
go to BeatThread.
Go on beatthread.com, guys. We'll catch you guys on next week. We'll do BlapChat for the next episode. But if you want to submit for BlapChat, once again, a little reminder: go to beatthread.com. Sign up for an account. It's totally free, and just start uploading your beats there. When you upload your beat, make sure you hashtag BlapChat so we can find you and choose you at random for another episode. But another great episode, man. Number 42, BlapChats.
Yeah.
We got so many more awesome guests coming through.
Oh my God,
man, we got like a bunch of stuff lined up. I'm excited.
Just stay tuned, guys.
Stay tuned. And again, spread the word. You know, shout to you guys that are listening to us, like on the way to work or at the crib or wherever you are. Shout to you. Make sure you subscribe to us on iTunes podcast application, and leave us a comment. You know, give us a rating, leave us a comment. Be interactive, man. If you're on SoundCloud right now, hit us up on the comment section. Ask a question, comment on the stuff we're talking about. We want to be as interactive as possible, and also hit us up on social media. It's at BlapChat, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at BlapChat. Don't be afraid to reach out to us. And great episode, man. Shout to you guys. Shout to all the producers rocking out. Keep banging and stay tuned. We got another episode next week, every Friday. You already know.
Get out there, shake hands, and kiss babies.
Exactly.
Just get out there, guys.
Exactly. All right. So till next time, we'll see y'all next week. We
Peace.
out. We out.
Later.
1.